Alex.
Alex, I told you. I was waiting. I was up early today.
Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
You're in gold buys already.
Yeah, I got in gold buys. I woke up, I saw this. I saw the 30-minute candle. Um, so I'd go for it. Like the 1 hour close with no wick there at the bottom. I saw the 30-minute as well. You know, it closed bullish with no top wick, but the previous one closed with no bottom wick. But the high time frame, the 1 hour is the high time frame, right? So it closed with no bottom wick. So I just went off that. Plus, like, I guess the 4 hour is also bullish on the 4 hours. So if this turns bullish, oh man, what
Hey,
a
coach.
move!
I'm watching gold as well. Wouldn't it be better if I stop at 1521.65 or something? Because the 30-minute candle with no wick at the top, it just made me confused, you know? So, yeah.
I think, I guess you can have a buy stop. Yeah, right. Like 15, 21,
Because
10.
I got 10 pips in London session in gold,
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm expecting it to fill the 4 hour wick. If you look left on the 4 hour, you see the wicks.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm expecting that wick to be filled.
1523.
Yeah.
Yes. This is exactly what we're looking at on Sunday as well, during the course for gold. Like gold was bullish, daily was bullish. Just had to wait for some sort of a support to form to fill the wick at 1524.
Yeah. So yeah, I might have a buy stop 1521.67.
Nice.
Kind of supposed to be.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Good morning, coach.
Hey, good morning, man. Who's this? Alex.
No, that's me.
Morning, guys.
Oh yes. Hey, Chris.
How you doing, bud?
Good, man. Very good.
Enjoy your weekend?
Morning, Chris.
Yeah, I had a great weekend. Had a very nice weekend, mate.
Course look great, man.
Oh, gold was such a nice buy this morning. Raja, thoughts on gold? I'm holding from 1500, looking for 1530. Well, if you're holding for 1500 and you're looking at 1530, I'm pretty sure that you have secured profits. Now when you look at this price here at 1518, and if you're holding for 1500, I think this is the place where, like down here, 1517, 1518, you should probably like trail your stops, because that's a support being made. Yeah, I think it can go like 1524. I mean, all it's got to do is just respect this support it's made here, 1518. Huge is also dropping. You know what I missed? I missed the GJ drop. I was in the plane and I was watching GJ. Yeah. I was in the plane, I was watching GJ, the 4 hour, yeah, right there. What?
I was in there too. I was in that cell.
Oh.
Uh,
It was right here. Right this 4 hour at like 134, 400, 500. This was the area, because I was looking at the 30-minute candles and I was like, all right, you know what? If this closes bearish, like right here, after that Asian Open, I think it happened in the midnight. Yeah, it happened at midnight. The 1 hour candle closed bearish, and then yeah, I was home. I was sleeping. But man, this thing.
yeah, I was
fell.
awake until like 2. I couldn't even sleep. But yeah, it was a nice drop.
It's a beautiful drop.
Yeah, looking at 4 hours good now. It's created a good week to go further, probably.
Yeah, I think if it's gonna go further, it should come down to 130 to 133, 300.
Yeah, just with all the news and stuff going on right now, and
Yeah.
like that big Thomas Cook thing, and that's all kicked off as well. So not looking good for the pound at the minute.
What happened with Thomas Cook?
Oh, it's just something that happened over. It's happened over the last few years. It's just not been very good for travel, and you know they haven't had as much custom, but they've been bailed out by the banks and stuff a lot. And basically, their interest payments a year were £150 million a year, just to pay back interest on the loan, and they just couldn't keep up basically. So they've closed it down. That's it.
Oh, too bad, so sad.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Big company.
Thank you for that.
I think it's been around for like 100 and something years, man. It's a massive UK company. It's a shame. But there's a lot of stuff that put it off as well, because they, you know, they had the terrorist attacks in Turkey and stuff, and people stopped wanting to fly there, and you know, it was one of their biggest destinations. And, yeah, a lot of stuff all come together.
Turkey.
Yeah, what was it, about 3 or 4 years ago, when something happened on the beach, I think, didn't it? Dude shot people on the beach or something. I can't remember what happened, something like that.
Hello, Raja. You know when you draw zones, is it best to include the wicks or exclude them? Man, you know this question, like if you include zones with wicks or candles, this has been answered the amount of, I mean, I honestly don't know how many times that's been answered. All you gotta do is just go to the videos on YouTube, like on my channel, and then like you can find a lot of examples there. There's a lot of resources. EJ is also at resistance here. EJ's formed nice resistance. If you're looking to buy EJ, the best place to buy EJ would be at 118, 100. 118, 100. Buy stop 18. Oh, nice. Nice. This is nice. I like this. Buy stop.
Oh, wait.
GBP rates, question mark. I think you're pretty late for GBP rates. You're exactly 4 days late for GBP rates. Yeah, GBP rates happened in the past. GP CAD sells, nice. If I were you, I'd put stops at break even, but that's just me. You can see the 1 hour has reversed, is coming down, so I put my stops at break even on GP CAD. And this take profit you have, which goes all the way down to the depths of hell, I won't do that. I would look to see the most recent support, maybe somewhere over here, then over here, then over here. I mean, having a take profit like this, that is just, that's not smart at all. I mean, you're not going to hold there for sure, 100%. I know that.
Oh, after the dude's on about the GBP rate text on your YouTube stream, dude. You change it, he said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you're telling everyone about that. We'll just put it late.
How do you change this text? Oh.
Oh yeah, I've just seen it now. Yeah. Half risk Monday.
Yep, half risk Monday.
Yeah, man.
See, GJ is just ranging now. GJ is in a range. This is a 33 pip range. When price is in a range, and let's say you take a sell over here in the middle of a range, there is a 50% chance it will go up. If you take a buy, there's a 50% chance it's going to go down, you know? So your chances are 50-50 inside the range. Your best opportunity for GJ is going to be if it breaks above 133.800, and then you can say, okay, you know what? There's a higher chance it's going to now go up.
Yeah, I think we need to wait to New York to see anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing goes with support. You know, like if GJ breaks support, then there's going to be a higher chance it's going to go down. But within a range, there's a 50-50 chance. You know, when you talk to a girl and you're like, hey, what's your number? She's like, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to get it. You're like, nah, man. Okay. That's fine. Does it affect markets since Japan banks are on holiday? Well, think about it. In the New York session, Japan banks are holiday, you know, because it's closed. And when Japan banks are on holiday in New York session, then it doesn't make any difference at all. So, no, it makes no difference. Are you in gold buys? Yes, I was in gold. I am in gold buys. I actually closed gold. I took profits on gold. I still think it's gonna happen.
Hey Raja, morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. I just closed the gold buy just now.
Oh, nice.
How was the trip?
Pretty good. I entered at 15.19.05 and 15.19.09.
It's good work, man.
I wanted to enter that exact gold buy at 30-minute candle, closed bullish, but wasn't comfortable enough. Well, you know, you gotta risk it to bite the biscuit sometimes. Because the 30-minute closed bullish at support, which was resistance after Asian yesterday. You know, so when that support is formed in an uptrend, and when you look on the 1 hour, the high time frame candle, which closes no wick at the bottom, this means that the current candle couldn't go down because there was no range for it to continue. So when you look at the 30-minute, you're like, okay, if it's going to be a buy, I'm going to look for a bullish candle, and then, you know, like it went up.
Wow. Do you get jet lag from going that distance that you did this weekend? Right, go on.
Yeah, what's that? Jet lag?
Yeah, I didn't know, man, because I didn't know, is that far enough to get jet lag and mess you up?
Oh, no.
No?
It's the same time zone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the same time zone. The flight was like, on the way there, it was like 2.5 hours. On the way back, same thing.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad at all.
Oh, I thought it was further than that.
Oh, nice. A couple of people in gold buys. That's very nice. See, so now as this 30-minute candle is closing, what you're seeing is we form support. It's making a higher low. This is making a higher high. You know, so now buying here, right here, would be a little bit risky. So that's why you might want to use the buy stop at 15.21 around 15.21.50, 15.21.30. You know, so buy stop would work. But then your stop loss is going to be below this 30-minute candle. So, you know, if your stop is going to be big, then you're going to use their lower lot size. Makes sense? Because check this out. 15.21.30, let's say, is your buy stop. Your stop is around 20 pips, 22 pips. So, yeah. But then you're using a smaller lot size.
Daily on gold. If you aiming at that kind of week from the 12th of September.
How was Miami? Miami was pretty good. It was actually kind of intense. Raja, watch a video on support resistance, EMAs, momentum, trade gap, make a trading plan, the sign, and then how to look for entries. What should I watch next, or should I just rewatch? Well, you know, that's up to you. If you want to apply that knowledge, then you're going to apply that knowledge. But if you want to keep watching videos, you're going to keep watching videos. You know, I think when you keep watching webinars, when you keep asking people for webinars, when you keep asking for PDFs, that's like chasing your own tail. You know, because no matter how much you watch, how much you read, if you don't apply that consciously in the charts, that's not going to work. I mean, it's going to get really hard. It's going to get really, really hard. Because, like, there are people who are on the conquest of, you know, reading charts. They're on the conquest of, like, trying to get better. Then there are people on the other part of the spectrum who have made this conquest of looking for webinars. And you know, when you focus all your energy on trying to find new webinars to watch, or new PDFs to watch, or new courses to steal, I mean, trading just won't work. Trading won't work at all. Like, I took this buy, it took me 15 minutes, made $1,000. You know, that's okay. You know, some people are gonna say, okay, gold's gonna break. The only reason I closed was gold approached resistance. You know, so that's why I said if you're gonna have a buy, make sure you have a buy stop. A buy stop is going to be above resistance, right? So when price breaks resistance, it's going to get activated. But you can't take a buy here expecting resistance to break when it hasn't broken. So, you know, price came up to support resistance. So logic dictates that you close.
You watching GJ there?
Oh, gold. Oh, GJ. Oh, he is falling now.
Yeah.
Morning, Ted.
Good morning. Yeah, I got in on that because the daily candle's been just rocketing down.
What was that, GJ, Ted?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, same. Yeah,
I woke up, I saw gold at resistance. I was like, oh man, I missed the move. Because I saw it last night at like 9 o'clock and it was forming that tail at the bottom. I was like, ooh, that's going to be a good buy all the way up. I just didn't take it.
Yeah.
It was exactly what we talked about in the Miami class. It's like, yep, it's going to go back up.
Yeah, it's going to go back up.
Because you said exactly like that. It's going to fill the range, and it did.
Yeah, gold was easy buys this morning.
But I mean, if people are been here on the stream for like the last 3 weeks, we normally say the move from Friday continues into the first day of the week, the next week, which it did. It pulled back and then it just continued on.
You know what I've noticed? I've noticed that that's true also. It moves hard Monday.
Yes. Yeah, like it'll continue off of Friday, and then tomorrow there'll be sometimes there's a massive reversal, and then that creates the range again, and then it continues Wednesday, Thursday up, and then it'll break through the current high right now. So like today, it struggles to get past that point of like 1520 or 1521. It pulls all the way back tomorrow, and then Wednesday and Thursday it goes past like today's like top price. It's really interesting. I've noticed that over the last like three and four.
Worked as well with the news that's happened at the weekend as well and the close. I think that's kind of partly it as well. But yeah, it's definitely changed a little bit. That's a good pattern though.
Oh wow, GJ pulled all the way back. It's a tight range.
Yeah, as soon as the new 7 o'clock candle started, I was out. So I got out way before that. I saw what was happening. I'll take that. I'll take the like 10 pips and call it a day.
Oh man, 10 pips? 10 pips gets you nowhere, man.
No. Well, those 10 pips paid for dinner on Thursday. Or was it Thursday or Saturday? Saturday.
Thursday.
Well, no, Thursday's dinner was easy. Saturday's dinner, holy cow! That was a big chunk of change.
We have fun. We enjoyed.
I haven't had that expensive a dinner in a while. Like that was for me. I was expecting it to be like around 3,000, and then when it came out, I was like, okay, we ate good.
You better be full up.
Yeah, well, no, we were like the amount of food on the table. Holy cow, they took doggy bags.
Really did.
Man, you guys went crazy, man. Steak after steak after steak.
Yeah, man, it was good. It looked wicked. Plenty of FOMO this weekend.
Ted and Roger, man, I appreciate you guys for having me, man. It's nice meeting up with you guys.
I was most excited to meet Kevon. I saw Kevon, I'm like, no way he came. That was my highlight of the whole trip. Meeting Kevon. Kevon legend.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. Like when he showed up, my eyes lit up. I was like, this guy's a celebrity.
Yeah.
And you know what? He stayed the entire time. That was good. Like, you know.
Yeah, the entire time. Like when we were at the club, like I didn't expect Kevon to be there. You know, Kevon was
I figured he had to go home, you know, take care of the kids and stuff like that. But no, man, he did his thing.
Oh man, here you guys go.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. I'm glad everyone came out.
How was the flights, Ted?
Yeah, horrible, but I survived.
Yeah, what was wrong with the flight, Ted? I saw you said I told
Oh,
It's flying, no?
it's no coming back. It was just bouncing around like crazy, and it was funny because we got into Toronto and it finally calmed down, and we're circling the city. So I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is like, you know, we're watching, you know, like a video like of the city of Toronto. So we're flying around, and I always have a window seat, so I'm looking out the window, and I'm like, wow, this is nice. And literally, it's like we got caught into this into this turbulence path in Toronto. I'm like, why are we in this section of the why is it doing this in the city? But literally, we were bouncing around, and I was like, just get us on the ground. Like we flew around Toronto, and then we flew around my house. I'm like, no, why are we going that way? We're going further east. Just get the thing on the ground. Like you could come in from the other way, and then also, they ran out of gates, so we landed on the tarmac, and then they basically got a bus for us. We had to walk off the plane.
Oh, so that's probably the reason why you guys were surfing, because the air traffic was so much.
Yeah, there was so much traffic. Yeah, well, you know what? Literally, I got off the plane. I got through customs. There was nobody in line up at customs. There was no one. And I literally walked up to the guy. He's like, "Yeah, where are you coming from, Miami?" He's like, "Okay, see you later."
Oh man, I'm surprised they didn't stop you.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. I literally walked out, and I was at home from landing. I was at home in 40 minutes because my car was in valet, so I had the car. The car was already ready and then literally walking in Pearson. Like if you've ever been to Toronto, the Pearson Airport, when you walk through the terminal, it's like you're literally walking through like a super mall for days. Because you have to walk downstairs, walk up an elevator, or you have to go up an escalator. You have to go on the walking stair or the walking sidewalks, and they're super long. The terminal, like Terminal 1, is super long, and I literally walked 20 minutes. So 20 minutes of the 40 minutes to get home was literally me walking, and then the rest I just boogied home on the highway. Yeah, the Pearson is huge. Like you don't realize it, but man, you can pick up a good sweat there.
Good morning, guys. I can attest to what Ted's saying about Pearson. Oh, man, many times.
Quite there's all the bubbles coming out there.
But it's funny because in Pearson now, everything is super fast. Like even on Thursday when I got to the airport, I got through customs and security within 25 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never done that before in my life. It's always been at least an hour and a half.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Looked at my passport, looked at me. Where you coming from? Miami. Okay, perfect. Take care. Have a good night. Hope you had a good trip. How do you decide between entering the trade after the candle breaks and closes and entering after the candle retests momentum? I think you need to watch one of the latest videos on YouTube I have. I mean, come on, man. This is not a mentoring session. If a gap is included in the left shoulder of a... What? If a gap is included in the left shoulder of a head and shoulder pattern, would that cause any concern at all for you, Raja? Yeah, random question. Yeah, I don't look at head and shoulders, so there you go. Yeah, you got me there with that question.
Head and shoulders is a shampoo, no?
It is. It is. Oh, Raquel, meaning to ask you. So did you get your computer stuff all set up?
My computer?
Yeah, like I remember you were mentioning that you only had like 8 gigs and all that. So did you get like the count up or?
Oh no, I had no time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you buy the stuff at least, or?
No, nothing.
Oh shoot, okay.
Yeah.
Busy man. Okay, cool. That's fine.
Yeah, I didn't get nothing. Probably like this week, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Stop loss. Sold after 30-minute bearish close. Shows confirmation for resistance. Take profit low of the 30. Oh, nice. Looks like Daniel Kaluzzi had a winning trade today.
Finally.
No, that was good. That was good because now, even if you look at the 1 hour, the 1 hour was perfect. Close bearish at resistance.
Yeah, I was just a bit worried about the upcoming Draghi speech.
Oh.
The last time it wasn't really affected, but
yeah,
that was last month. But we'll just see. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know that.
I was going to do take profit at the 1 hour. See that where your resistance is. I was going to do it there, but I don't know. Right? I feel like a lot of trades are coming back on me, so it's just I figured I'd just take profit.
Yes.
Yeah, bag it up.
When you feel like trades start to come back to hunt you, just keep taking like small profits because that builds your confidence back up. Ooh, look at that drop.
Good. Well, anyway,
Very
how was
watchful.
everyone's weekend? Did you guys have a good time in Miami?
Yeah, it was a pretty good time.
Fantastic.
Yeah, gold's creating the support. So I think this move might just bounce around before 8 o'clock, and we might get the push up to fill that range.
Oh, once goes above 1521, it's off.
Yep.
Are you looking at the target around 24?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why that resistance on GJ? I thought the resistance could be 134,300. 134,300. Well, you can have your resistance all the way up over there, or you can look at the candles and see, okay, well, candles were respecting 133, you know, kind of like 800 as resistance, and then, you know, maybe buy above 830 and then go all the way to 134. Because here price is ranging. Look at this. Range. Oh, Daniel, that EJ ran nice.
Yeah, well, don't tell me, please. Missed pips, but that's alright.
What's your thoughts on using Ichimoku for scalping? I have never used Ichimoku for scalping.
Shit.
So if I haven't used something, I can't really give it any advice on it. If you check the 4 hour, yes, so I was looking at the same thing. It's basically expecting your 4 hour to continue bullish, right? If the 4 hour is going to continue bullish, you're looking at the smaller time frames to create some sort of a support. So this is a support right here, 1518 is the support. So as long as price stays above this level, it should continue moving up, and then ultimately, you know, break above 1520 and 1521. So that's where your bias is now. That if this support is held, price is going to continue moving up. So if this support breaks, and if you're in a buy, then you might be in some sort of a trouble. So it's really good to keep those things in mind. You know, from even here, you stop doing like 13 pips, 12 pips. Your upside is way more.
Yeah, the 15-minute just created that liquidity area, so I think we may tap back into it and then take off. Or it just might run. My buy stop was activated already. So. But my stop loss is below the 15-minute wick. So the current the last 15-minute wick, that's where my stop loss is.
That makes sense.
Might be a little tight because I think you might be better off with a stop right around 1517.88 or 1518. But I think 1518.50, I don't think we're returning there right now. And then that should bring us to the upside to 1521 to Rakeel's stop, his buy stop.
You're looking at on the 5 there?
The 15 right now. So the 5, I got my buy stop activated on the last 5-minute candle. So it's already in profit, but I think there's going to be a bit of a bounce around right now till for the next 6 or 7 minutes. And then I think the push will happen towards the end of the half hour. And then we're going to have a massive pullback. And that's when Raja's buy stop will probably get activated in the next half hour candle.
Anyone in Canada made a successful deposit? Yes. Waiting is the name of the game. About 15-20. GJ is moving. If GJ breaks, GJ is going to 134.
Sold from 33.9 morning, which was a good one. But yeah, I think you're right back up to them.
It's the GJ Volatile in New York session. Neo Legend. Mr. Legend. Yes. Of course, man. Of course GJ's Volatile. There's a London overlap in New York. And what is the gray rectangle? Gray rectangle is resistance, and then if you're looking for safe buys, then you have a buy stop above that resistance, kind of like on GG. Looks not. What's this? Yeah, this is also resistance here at 134, 100 right here, because this was support here, right? Because look, price open, price gap down, so obviously this becomes support, and then when price starts to go up, this support becomes resistance. Very simple. So what is the buy stop for GJ? Josefina Brinson. I think you're very intelligent, and as an intelligent individual, you should read the description. When you read description says watch this video for the rules of the stream. So you need to go ahead and watch that video. Because if you come on the stream saying, oh, what's the buy stop? Oh, what's the sell stop? What trade are you guys in? How does that help you? That doesn't help you at all. GJ drops because Thomas Cook has broken. I wonder who's Thomas Cook.
Oh, that's that aeroplane stuff I was talking about earlier, Roger.
Oh.
The travel company. It probably would have had a play in it, but it's the only reason.
I'm on it. How the fuck does it feel when you fucking wake up to that all that little junk food in the morning? Running from my eyes, they're like, yo, I didn't know it was there.
Hey!
And like,
Hey!
something about the fuck
Hey!
that smell?
Holy shit, man.
Where was that? Who was it? कौन था ये?
That was funny. That's like Raja being the old man yelling at the guy on the grass. Get off my grass. Hey!
Hey!
Get off my grass.
When trading using buy stops or sell stops, how do you determine where to place your stop loss? You know, then obviously you have a wider stop loss if you're placing buy stops and sell stops. What I do is I just put my stops at 15 pips. You know, like, or let's say if you have a buy stop on gold at like 15, 21, 30, then maybe I'm gonna have my, let's see this. Yeah, only 15 pips, maybe like in the zone. It's gonna be like in the middle of the zone. That's where I'm gonna focus on my sell stop. In the middle of the zone, because then I'm betting on the fact that if my buy stop gets activated, there's a very, very high chance that, no, there's a very less chance price should come back in the zone, then it should continue moving up.
Probability.
Yes, probability. See this GJ is in the range, so you need to wait for a break. Need to wait for it to break. You know, the worst thing people do is when something's ranging, they start to do complicated analysis. Oh, what's this? Left shoulder. This could be the head.
Nah, that's upside down, dude. That's a big shoulder.
There we go. We're going up over there. 134.
Perfect.
500. Imagine we go over there really, like, by tomorrow.
That'd be a good highlight.
Yeah, because you know, like, Monday retracement down, Monday move down, and Tuesday back up over here.
That's it. Perfect. We just sold Forex, man.
Is that your new analysis?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This is the left shoulder, this is the upside down head, and then we have the dislocated long shoulder over there.
It's called the ER.
Yeah, ER. We're in the ER range here.
Just need to go to the emergency room. Good morning.
So,
yeah, if someone asks me for that, I just don't know about that. That was a joke.
Disclaimer. It was a joke.
29.99. There you go.
Hey Raja, you should start an affiliate program with Soft4FX.
It's too late now.
Oh, why?
It's too late because back in the day when they were selling licenses, they were selling 10 licenses per package. So a lot of
okay, yeah,
you know, they made some really good money.
Yeah, but for someone like me who just bought it, you would have gotten like $40.
Yeah.
That's you should get. You should just do it. Why is it too late?
It's too much work.
Yeah.
Trying to get that set up now, you know, because like before, like I think a year and a half ago, there was a lot of momentum when people were buying those licenses.
Yeah, jeez.
Those guys there would have been like rolling around in their sleep, like, holy shit, this money we're making right now.
Yeah, who needs to trade?
I have a question. What are the reserved level in any chart you can show, or if you have a what reserved area? That's the first time I've heard about that. Reserved area, interesting. Should I use different stop losses when trading metals? I mean, in terms of distance. Well, it just depends on the levels you're looking at, you know. I mean, if you trade GJ and GJ breaks this resistance and you had a buy stop, your stop is going to be in the middle of the range. So it just depends how big the ranges are and how big the candles are. Depends from metal to metal. So you need to focus on one metal and just watch how it forms. Endrit Lamani. No, I'm not Indian. $106,900. Oh yeah, that could work. 106,900. But I mean, if you're waiting for price to come all the way down, you know, all the way down here, and you're going to patiently wait for that, why wouldn't find ways to, you know, get in positions where you can just ride the price down and then have your, you know, buy limit activated?
Yeah, I think you're right. Looking at the next zone on that.
Yeah. What's this? No for Maruba. No for Maruba. Where do I send my charts? Yeah, watch the intro video. Trade for 4 months and I'm on the same lot all day. Any advice? In lot sizes, I mean, you're increasing lot sizes based on your confidence, you know, like how you feel about the lot size. Because like increasing the lot size, that's just pushing an envelope. One thing I was really impressed with was JJ's shirts. Those shirts are so nice. A friend of ours, he has a company. Nutrition Zone.
Yeah, the Nutrition Zone. Yeah.
Man, those shirts are so nice. Oh wow. That was his website.
That was excessive.
Yeah.
Hey, Rakeel, how's it going, man?
Hello, hello.
That's 15. Oh, that's a bit lower wick, I don't think.
Yeah, it just pulled back a bit, but it's now pushing up again. So we'll see what happens. It's still holding that support.
For sure.
Mr. Curvin. Oh yes. This is just ranging. Soon it's gonna break. And then soon it's gonna go pew 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 pew. Hey Raja, what's the genre of these songs? I don't know. They're just random songs. I just downloaded random songs. Seems like I can move the market. As soon as I enter a buy, price moves the opposite way. Yeah. Correct me if my observation wasn't good enough. I'm backtesting gold, and I saw all the major moves happened in New York, London overlap. That is correct. Because New York and London overlap is like the most volatile time of the market. Because you have the London Open and New York.
Lot more volume.
Yeah, so if you were trading gold right now, what you could have done is, knowing that the range that we're in is between 15.18 and 15.21, you could drop into the smaller time frames, the 5, the 15, and the 30-minute candles, and see how support is being formed there, and then make a decision on an entry and an exit based on what's currently happening on the hour and the 4-hour time frames. So it's something to keep in mind, that, you know, people are talking about how they can't get good entries. Well, once you start to see a support forming on the smaller time frames, like the 15-minute or the 30-minute time frame, or even the hour, you can drop into the 5-minute and then see how those candles are forming based on the other time frames, and that'll allow you to get a better entry. Because if you look right now on like the 5-minute charts, you can see gold is really holding a support at around 15.19 right? So you could say to yourself, okay, how does that support line up with any other time frames? Does it line up with a 15 or a 30 or an hour time frame? And that will allow you to get an entry, because what you can say is, hey, on the 5-minute chart, if we don't break this 15-minute support or this 30-minute chart or this 30-minute support, I could potentially take a trade if the 5-minute candle goes my direction afterwards. So it's something to keep in mind.
I was to choose a mix and sell it. I think.
Right, that's true.
A lot of time you need to be in it.
What's this? Oh, nice. So you're like Back to the Future. Makes sense. Wickety wick. Cup. Handle. So, will this handle break to the upside? Is that what we're waiting for? Cup and handle to... Oh, okay, perfect. So first we got to go to 135 and probably then take a trade, right? Above 135, is that the idea here? Yeah, it's a very interesting analysis. Very interesting. I only trade GJ. Gold challenged me one day. It made a U-turn. Yes, perfect. See, now you analyzed and you figured out that maybe gold is not the pair for you to trade.
Yeah, gold is tough.
Why did you concern this area as support? Because if you look left, you see that the 30-minute candles went, like, you know, they came down and went up. So when you look right, you're like, okay, well, maybe this price over here, it might be some important price, right? So if you look in EJ, right here, right, 117,930, you're like, okay, this might be something of importance because the 30-minute candle is reversed. Well, you know, there's a high chance when the 30-minute candle comes down, it's going to reverse from here again. So that's exactly what happened.
Hey, Raja.
Hey.
The 30-minute, if you can go to the 30-minute, please, on EJ.
Yeah.
See that the candle I entered on, would you call that invalid?
No, it's valid because that's the 1 hour.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? I think the next one was the 1 hour. The two. Those two together.
Yeah.
So they're two small ones.
I
don't
guess
know. I'm trying to, yeah.
After this close, would have been a like much better confirmation.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's still bearish. Yeah. Still going the right way.
What's this? I'm seeing buys in GJ. Ali Anjum. GJ is ranging, man. Like, GJ is in a range. How the fuck do you see buys? It's ranging. Look, it created a resistance here after London Open. It created a resistance at the 7 a.m. candle. It's got a support over here. You're trying to take a buy. Ali Anjum, that's why you are here on this stream. You know, if you were profitable, you'd come here for like 2 minutes, take a trade, and you'd go off. But man, I just don't know. It just confuses me.
Tell him to send a card.
Yeah.
To see his bias.
You just have to wait for this to break. It's so simple. Kervin. Oh, I think Kervin's mic is too low.
Oh.
Oh,
What was that, Raja?
Oh, there we go. Oh, I thought you said something earlier, but your mic was too low.
No, I was about to say, Raja, are we buying GJ? Are we in GJ buys?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, right now.
Right now.
Are you done?
Oh, don't say that, man. Someone's actually going to buy GJ.
No, I'm joking, bro.
I'm
your voice. The way you're speaking, I love your voice.
Kervin has a boat on wheels. That's what he has in Miami. He's got a boat on wheels.
Kevin, is that you?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Love your voice.
Oh, thank you, bro.
GP
Thank
cat,
you.
aggressive sell, high risk reward, bearish bias, clear traffic on the left. Well, this clear traffic on the left, this clear traffic only counts when it breaks this clearly labeled support you have. When this clearly labeled support is not broken, this clear traffic doesn't mean anything at all. You know what I'm trying to
Wouldn't that
say?
be a like contradiction? Clear traffic. I mean, you think about traffic, kind of like jumbled barcodes.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, what? What was that again?
Barcodes.
So yeah, so that's ranging right now, right? GP cat. Let's take a look at that. GBP cat. Oh yeah, GP cat is ranging. It is ranging, mate. Wow, look at that range. Look at this 1 hour candle. Yeah, look at that range. It needs to break this range and then come down here. Right, so now you have to be a smart trader. Look at this. So once this range gets broken all the way down, it's coming down like you have this 45 pip range. That's what you got to get, that range. You know, of course, if you can sell here and you can accidentally get a run down, but I mean, that's just going to be a bad trade because you entered before it broke support. I got gold buys a minute later. Uncle Ted just said, if I like to see movie in gold. Thanks for you guys. Yes. The best thing is that you can manage your risk. It's called aggressive sell because I love high risk, high reward. Pure mathematics, I think you have a perfect mentality of a new trader. That's exactly how new traders think. And that's okay, you know, because that's going to change over time. So you're in the right path.
I love how calm you are right now.
Well, you know, just...
That's okay. That's gonna change.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, it's gonna change.
That happened. That used to happen to me too. You know, like price would come to support with such aggressive force. I would take buys, no sells. I would say, yeah, it's gonna break. It's a high risk reward. I like high reward. And
you're 100% right. It is. I like how calm you are with it.
Yeah,
You
and
don't even try to fight it.
yeah, and like the thing is, if you take that same trade 100 times, you know, I learned this from Ted. If you take the same trade for 100 times, how many times is that trade going to be profitable? You know, if most times it's not going to work because it's at support, and most times supports don't get broken, you're going to find, oh yeah, these were all dumbass trades, and I was being a dumbass. So maybe now I should wait for supports to break. Because if you wait for supports to break 100 times, most times that trade is going to work. And then you're going to say, I have evolved into a phoenix and I'm better now at trading. Alright, let's take a look at this. So you gotta be a phoenix. EJ, wait for NY Open. See, this is a very, very smart idea right here. You're waiting for the break. Because if this breaks, there's a high chance that price is going to continue up to 118, 400, 300, 200, right? Because there's a clean candle that happened. Clean candle. So it'll most probably be mirrored by the same move up.
But I'd be careful in the speech, that's all.
Dollar CAD short is lining up. Yeah. Some people in my group are in USD CAD shorts. The trade on yen pairs was last night. Risk aversion was likely. Yeah, that was a good, like, they just fell. It fell so hard. Asian pairs. Price gapped up, and then, you know, price started to range. If you look at all the JPY pairs, they retested a support trend resistance from Friday.
Good morning, good morning. Oh, Raja, my wife finally had the baby yesterday. It's a girl.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Congrats.
Shit. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you thought of a name yet?
Long wait. My baby did not want to. Thank you, everybody.
Gold is moving. The last 10 minutes is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, it's moving.
Yeah, we said that it would start to push. It just bounced around support again. And I know people were panicking, but I was just sitting here going, man, I'll just take another entry.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Because now, as long as the hour finishes the way it finishes now, the next hour will be that push. It'll continue. So I'm happy with what gold's doing right now. It's exactly what we said it'll do. I think people might actually even get better entries next hour when it pulls back a bit to go up. So it'll be interesting to see, unless it just rockets right at 8 o'clock. But Raja's got his buy stop, so he'll pick it up anyways if it does rocket.
That's the pullback I'm waiting on.
Yeah. Well, I think we just had it because I watched it drop like 4 or 5 pips in like 1 5-minute candle. I'm like, ooh, I think that was the move.
Yeah, I saw the same. I think that might well have been it. Just mimicked exactly what it did earlier on.
Yeah. But I think at 8 o'clock we'll still have a bit of a pullback again, and that will be the start of the movement. Came close to my stop too. I was like, that sucks.
I was looking.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna close my bad position right now, and I'm gonna let the other one run. Hopefully that is what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, makes sense. You're getting, I used 18.4 as a SL.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the stop loss below the hour support should be fine.
On the break even now, so I mean,
Yeah, like I'm looking now at 15.18 as a stop loss, so I'm okay.
I saw some confirmations in the 1 hour time frame, but I would enter and the stop loss would hit. Well, your stop loss should be like at 15, 17, 80, because that's the 1 hour support. What is your strategy system? The strategy system is understanding how candles move through zones, how different times in the market affect the movements, how volatility changes as you move from session to session. You know, so it's all about like understanding how price is moving through zones and through market sessions. There's no set strategy, because strategies don't work for everyone, you know. But once you truly understand how price is moving and what's the basic fundamentals of moves, then you start to realize that, okay, you know what, strategies, there's no such thing. All I gotta do is just wait for price to do certain things.
Morning from Miami.
Hello.
What up, what up?
How are you?
Feeling, man. Feeling good. I'm in gold buys right now.
Oh, you're in gold buys?
Yeah, man. I got in when Ted was, I was at the same time looking at, I guess, where Ted was at.
Yeah.
I got a really good entry. I'm already in profit on one of the trades. I got some runners going to run if it does a nice push. But, yeah, man. Feeling good right now.
Oh, nice, man, because, like,
it's going to push hard.
Look at the 30 minute now. The 30 minute is closing bullish. It's closing above the previous two ones. So there's a good chance it's going to continue moving till at least 15.20, and then if there's volume, beyond 15.20.
Yeah, it's a good move right now. So you might get that pullback a bit in the next 5 minutes, like at 8 o'clock, but then that will be just the wick forming for the next half-hour candle or whatever candle you're looking at.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello, hello.
There's a lot of people asking what kind of pairs should you trade. Trading gold and GJ as a new trader, you're just setting yourself up for failure because of the fact that they move too fast. The spreads are a little bit bigger. And also too, you can see how violent the chart looks. Like if you look at GJ, look at the wicks on the upside and the downside. Find a pair that moves relatively slower so that you have room for forgiveness. And what I mean by that is, you know, you trade a pair like EJ or maybe UJ or UCAD, and it moves a little bit easier. So like if you get a bad entry, it's not going to rip down 10 or 15 pips in a 5-minute candle. Like you're not going to get punished that way. Because the idea is you want to have a pair that if you make a mistake, you have a chance to correct it. Gold and GJ, we only started trading those pairs after like 2 or 3 years of trading. Like I never started with that because I would never be able to handle it because the price action on those pairs are so erratic. You have to really be able to anticipate what's happening and why it's happening. If you're learning how to trade, learn to trade on a pair that moves slow. Yes, your profits are going to take longer. There's not going to be as many setups. But what you can do is it gives you a chance to really study the pair and then allow you to understand how it's moving and anticipate those moves. And then as your eyes get better, you can move and jump into other pairs and say, hey, okay, this makes much more sense, right? Like I can do that.
Ooh. See, the last 4 minutes, it reversed. This is why, you know, gold is hard to trade.
Jeez, it just dropped 8 pips. As I'm talking about it, it just dropped 8 pips. I guess my exit was just about 2 minutes ago.
It's 2 minutes away.
The thing is, with experience with gold like that, you do get that's not a surprise.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what I mean. It dropped like 7 pips in one 5-minute candle. Now you see what everyone starts saying. Start selling.
Yeah.
And it's like if you knew enough about this pair, you would know that one little pullback has nothing to do with selling anything. That's just gold being finicky the way it normally is.
That's just general moves.
Yeah.
Which is so annoying. You say close out there?
I closed out my first one in profit. I just closed that one out just to get rid of it because I didn't think it was a good entry when it hit my buy stop, and then this one now is above break even. So,
yeah.
Or it's running the way it's supposed to. So. The good thing is now my stop loss with this current open or current trade is like 15, 18. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. That's another good thing with gold. I think that it moves so much, it does give you that opportunity to kind of get a better entry as well.
Yeah.
Lower your risk. Just got to be quick.
See, EJ is still ranging. Gold is now ranging, approaching support. UJ ranging, GJ ranging, GP CAD ranging. Range. Are you a full-time trader or do you have a day job? I trade in the morning and then I do some other stuff. Like in the rest of the day. So I took one trade, it was gold. I took gold at 15.19.05. That's why I took gold and it closed. What's this? Gold, what? Oh, is this a 1 minute? If price, TP if price breaks, keep trail, wait for entry. Perfect. Well, if that works. Oh, shit, gold is dropping. NY open reversal, you know, seen this a lot of times.
My other position just got stopped. Yeah, I know what it's doing too. It's pulling all the way back and it'll reverse in 5 minutes from now. But whatever. Yeah.
Hey, Ted, so see how you got stopped out just before? Now, would you completely leave it alone for the rest of the session?
I think if it continues to range, I will. The thing is right now, I don't think this is a range. I think this is just a pullback to go further up. Because you can see where we had on the 30-minute charts. If you look at the 15-minute or even 30-minute charts, we just tapped into like that support area. So I mean, this once again goes to talk about like, you know, drawing a line or drawing an area. You don't necessarily know exactly where that support's going to be. And I look at it as, you know, if this candle continues to go down, it might just create a giant wick, and that will continue to drive it up. Reason being is the hour candle didn't close very, very bad. Like in terms of when it closed bearish, it didn't close as if it was going to break down. Like I would have expected if we were going to break this support, I would expect it to have closed a little bit more in a bearish formation. So I really think right now that it's pulling back to go further up. But I mean, obviously risk management first. So I'll just wait to see. If I do start to see it turn on a smaller time frame, so like what I'm doing right now is I'm watching the 5-minute time frame. I'm watching to see how it reacts in the current level that it's at. And then what I may do is, as soon as it starts to bounce off that 5 minutes, so if it bounces to 15, 16, what I may do is as soon as the 5-minute candles flip, I might look to take entries if I see that this 15-minute candle created like almost, you know, like a wick where it's not going back down, it's just rejecting to go further up, and we just got caught in a deeper drop than expected.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, so like it's exactly what I said. I knew at 8 o'clock we'd have a pullback. I just didn't know how deep the pullback would be. So it did go pretty deep. But it doesn't look like if it does continue, I mean, hey, you know, that's just what happens. But I just think that at this point we might see that if it does continue to drop, I mean that's you know what it does. But I'm saying one candle for me is not enough confirmation to say that this is dropping.
Pretty steady.
Yeah.
17.5 is probably the maximum there, but that's jumping up quite a lot.
Yeah, no, it did drop. It dropped 20 pips in the last 5 minutes, right? So I mean, that's fine. It's just I don't think like those kind of drops are good if you can catch them and get out. It's not sustainable in my mind. Like because I've seen this happen where it'll drop 20 pips in a 5-minute candle and then just rip right back again, and now you're stuck. That's the mistake that people will make as a trader is they'll look at this and be like, okay, well now it's time for sells. It's like no, if it's time for sells, you have a lot of room for a sell. So don't panic that we've dropped 15 pips in a 5-minute candle and now it's time for a sell. It's like, no, wait now to your regular confirmations on your 15-minute, 30-minute time frames, and then take the trade if it's going to continue to drop.
but you can already see it's already pulled back 10 pips in 1 minute, right? So it's very, very difficult for you to call a drop when we know why we got a drop in the first place, and this was a drop because of the New York session open. It has nothing to do with the candles all of a sudden reversing. If this candle in the hourly finishes bearish, and the next candle, you know, creates a top and then it starts to push down, then I'd be more inclined to say, okay, yeah, we're going to drop. But because we're not creating that kind of formation yet, or we don't have enough information, this is where you would sit back and wait. You know, obviously you can keep your bias with buys and just move your buy stop down further to get a better entry, because now, since we know the range is up to 1520, 1521, you're at right now 1517. This is a good opportunity for you to potentially take a buy and then say, okay, if it goes back to this original candle drop, then I'll close out. But you can see right now what's happening is it's pulling all the way back again. So
I play exactly the same, and I'm potentially running from my original target, which is like 24. If I've got it to that 20, 21 level.
right.
You've got that. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why, like I tell people, gold is very difficult to trade as a new trader, because if you take an entry at a wrong spot, or you don't have proper risk management, you can see how fast you can blow your account, right? Because you could have bought gold at 7:45 and made 10 pips, and you could have sold gold at 8 o'clock and made 20 pips, and now it's pulling all the way back, and that's within like a 5-minute candle. Yes.
It's not for the faint-hearted. I mean, when I started, I used to play gold on demo, to be fair, but I would just, you know, I just traded normal charts until I finally got comfortable with it. It still catches me out.
That's right. Yeah, no, but it's good because like people here are starting to figure that out. So I'm just reading some of the YouTube chat, and people are saying, you know, they took sells at the market open, and it's like, yeah, if you understand that and you're comfortable trading that sort of whipsaw where you know that you're going to eventually have to leave that trade, then it makes sense. It's just what would happen is a lot of times people would jump into a sell, and then they would keep trying to hold it down. Like someone would say, okay, well, you know, it broke down, so now we're dropping below, you know, we're going to 1500 or we're going to 1510, and it's like, no, it doesn't make sense, because you need more confirmation and you're getting yourself into trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just, I want people to understand, you know, why the move is happening, not necessarily that it is the move. It's like you can see right now we did drop, and now we're starting to pull back again. So once we pull back above that yellow or that orange line that Raj has drawn on his chart, you might find that it then drives all the way back up into that range, and then you turned around and say, shit, like you know, like, what happened? And now I'm stuck buying and selling at the same time. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
But like if you're waiting, you can easily you'll find in the next bit of time, the next 30-minute candle may pull back down, create this support here, and just drive all the way back up.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, but if you're patient with gold and you understand its moves, like now if you look to that top range again, that's a good target. If you're not necessarily by this minute, but being patient.
Mm-hmm.
It opens opportunities a bit more.
Yeah, we may have to wait a half hour or so for it to come back and then reevaluate. So, I'm not too concerned. I took a loss. Oh well, it's Monday.
No, I was going to say, I start the week, I'm not half risk anyway, so
Yeah.
not massive panic. Enough the momentum had anyway since the open. I was surprised that we went back into that gap. But
yeah.
you know, no,
see, if you look at the structure right now, like with this 30-minute chart, you can sort of see that if we were to drop with gold right now, if we were to drop right now, like if this is going to continue to drop, you can sort of see that this area here, let's do this. You can see right over here, that's like a huge area that we could potentially drop to in that area, right? I mean, I think that would be a very good level, but the problem is when you start to see on the smaller time frames, you can start to see like you have this level right over here, right? That may pull up a bit. Even this sort of level right over here, like you're always looking at the closest ranges or the closest levels, and you can see all we've done is we've dipped right deep into that level. So yeah, so the good thing is, I mean, if you're looking to take sells, all you would wait for is this is essentially what you would have to wait for, is you'd have to say to yourself, okay, if I'm going to take sells, I need another candle to come up here, and then what I would need is this to continue to drop, and then we would probably come to this area here. That would be the tap, and then what you may find is it might tap from here and then bounce back up there, and then you can see it sort of matches up at that level. So it's something to keep in mind, but that's sort of your visualization. My only problem is the fact that, you know, we had all this support over here and that it's broken, but we didn't have, on this candle here right away, we didn't have a rejection. So there was no rejection on that candle. So that's why I'm scared to turn around and say, okay, this should continue down. If it does, great, but it just, in my mind, I can't take that trade because it doesn't make sense for me. For me to take that trade, I need to be able to see the rejection. Like I need to be able to see a wick, because that's safer for me. So similar to what we have over here, where we have rejection and then we go back up, I need something over here on this candle to say, okay, yes, now we're dropping right back down again. Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would have wanted. I don't look at these candles here and say, oh, because they rejected, this means that we're dropping. I don't look at that. I need the candle that I'm focused on to have the same structure so that we can continue, you know, like if we're going up, I need it to look like the rest of the candles, and this candle doesn't look like the other ones. That's all.
It's actually very similar to on 16 downwards. Big variation.
Yeah.
That left a big wick.
Right.
And then what happened after that? Just continued.
Yeah. So that's sort of my thought process. Is the sell can be valid if you're comfortable trading that range. Just for me, it's not valid in my eyes, because at any given time, I think we could whip right back up. So that's why I'd rather just sit and wait. And if we get confirmation where there's a wick that goes up and then it drives down, you know that if that's happening, you know that essentially your target is going to be, you would say that your target would probably be in this area here. Like that's where your target would be, because you would have that candle, and this next candle would go bearish and it would drop here. The only problem is, you look at momentum is going this way, right? So why am I doing that? More so, if we have that, you take that trade there. The good thing is, once we come to this point here, you can start taking buys, and then you basically finish up, you know, right to this area over here at that point. So that's what I'm waiting on. It's just, if we do drop, I don't think that we're going to have a heavy drop. It's just more of like, now I can take a better buy, because there's been really no change in discussion with trade and tariff and stuff like that. So I believe that we still have a room to push.
And you'd also struggle to get a decent nest. Well, for me, I'd struggle to get a decent nest out of that.
Yeah.
and the way that it's steps down. It's like a stepping movement.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean. So like, I mean, one candle for me is not confirmation of a drop. That's the thing. It looks pretty. Like, don't get me wrong. I totally agree. If you caught the drop right at 8 o'clock and you got out, that's a winning trade. I'll never knock you for taking a winning trade. I just always look at, for me personally, I don't want to have to guess where we're coming to an end. Especially when everything was sort of holding support, and then we have that one drop into like past that support level on the 30-minute. For me, it scares me, just because it doesn't make sense in my mind. Like, anytime that I'm looking at structure and I see something like this happen, I'm like, that doesn't really make sense in my mind. Why we just get dropped suddenly off a cliff, like, and the last 3 hours we've struggled with that support level, and we finally we were pushing up. So like, this is, to me, it's always like you're trapping a whole bunch of people trying to sell at this point. That's sort of how I look at it. It's like, yeah, now the candle is doing exactly what I said it was going to do. It's going to rip up. And it's like, that's what scares the shit out of me, because like 2 years ago I would trade that drop, and then I'd be like, oh man, it's going to continue going down, and then you get this stupid candle that does this, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how does it just switch like that with no confirmation? And it's like, well, if you were smarter, Ted, you would have realized that 8 o'clock drop was just because everybody was getting into the market, and now we're going to drive price, right? So
especially when you look at 5 now, it's creating a real nice kind of with bottom. It's pretty cool. So definitely one to watch.
I'm in GJ buys. Okay, very nice. Very nice.
Motherfucker stopped me out. Now it fucking flies 30. Jesus Christ.
Wow, look at that 30-minute candle. What's this? Gold on 4 hour. Waiting for a break. Yep, EJ has also broken out.
Oh, I caught it on the bottom there, so at 15, 17, but it still pisses me off that I had to take a loss because of stupid pullback. I hate that fucking piece of shit.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's just because, you know, when you look at it, you're like, you know exactly what it's doing, and it's just like, man, why do you have to dip down like 30 pips in 5 minutes? Like, just chill for a bit. Like, it's all good.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I never think, especially if you're lined up sensibly as well, so, you know,
Yeah.
shouldn't really been that deep.
That's right.
Just do.
Oh.
It's a nice bounce, you probably all still got headaches on the weekend, don't you?
Oh, no, I'm fine. Like, there's no jet lag. It's the same time zones. Like, I mean, I slept good last night. I went to bed, like...
Alcohol abuse.
Oh, the one night we went out, I think we had like 9 or 10 bottles, and we ended up having to leave 2 full bottles there because like people just were getting KO'd. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, there were at one point people were sleeping on the sofa because it was just too much. Like, we came out like the Friday night. We started at midnight and we came out at 8 a.m.
That's good work.
Yeah, like we came out in daylight. Like, it was crazy. Like,
That's good. You are missing days.
Yeah, it was great work. I went to bed. I woke up from my boot camp, and then I get a picture. These guys are just leaving in the morning. What? Yeah.
Yeah, we 8 o'clock we were leaving. Yeah, we had I think we had a bunch. We started off with tequila. We had Don Julio tequila. So we had 2 bottles of that. We had 3 bottles of champagne. And then we got into vodka, and then we got into the rum. Yeah.
How was the hangover the next day?
Oh no, I was fine. Yeah, I loaded. My mini bar was loaded up with Gatorade, so it was good. They knew I was coming for some reason. It was really weird. I looked at my mini bar. I'm like, oh, look at all this Gatorade. I mean, it was like $8 of Gatorade, but I had like 6 of them. So.
Yes, surprisingly, I had no hangovers too.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. Like even what is it? Saturday night we went out. We still had like 6 bottles, or 7 bottles, but we didn't. It wasn't that bad. Like
You all had good food that night, though.
yeah, the meat basically coated your stomach.
Yeah, I could have drunk anything that night, I bet. That place looked really nice, though. It looked really cool.
Yeah, that was the Salt Bay place. That guy that the meme guy that throws the salt on stuff. That was his.
Nor'Est?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Alex is like, if I see a guy throw salt on his elbow and in my food, I'm gonna slap him. He's vegan too, so he's,
Did he go to that one?
Oof, Egypt broke nice.
Yeah.
Hey Raja, on EJ, would you wait for a pullback like another bearish candle and another bullish in order to go long?
Yeah, in this case, I would have had a buy stop. I even talked about this like when the stream started, that EJ is ranging very, very hard. So, like having a buy stop would have worked better, because now obviously the move has gone. So now you'd want some sort of a retracement to go back up. But a buy stop, it would have worked perfect.
Thank you.
My man, thanks for the... Ooh, someone took EJ buys. What's this? 30-minute confirmed resistance, 15-minute... Oh, nice, Peter. That's very nice. I'll probably put my stops at break even there.
When I stayed in all day, especially delivery time. So busy talking about gold, I didn't even hear the door, and they've been gone. Missed the delivery.
See, GJ, if you look at GJ, since after London Open, GJ is still ranging. GJ hasn't gone nowhere. So if this text here, range, wait for the range to break, has helped you in any way, give a like on the stream, because it's going to help a lot of other people. But when price is ranging, you just wait.
I got 13 pips on EJ.
Oh, nice.
It was a clean move on EJ. My buy stops got hit, so I'm deep in profit right now.
Awesome.
Good morning, sir. I just wanted to show you what trading 1 to 2 trades has done for me so far. And this person has gotten all profits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. Nice.
Yeah, so if you're going to look at gold now, what I do is watch the next 15-minute candle as we come into the last half of the hour. You might get that massive pull up that we normally see just before 9 o'clock. So really watch this next 15-minute candle. It might be the one that drives all the way through. We've seen that a lot of times at 8:45 and 8:30. There's always been a massive pull up just before 9 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock there's a rip up, and then it pulls all the way back down into the range again. So you might have an opportunity here if it does break up hard. It usually breaks up in the last half hour of this 8 o'clock hour.
I had some good shots at about 10-2. Well,
Yeah.
what, 9 is it yours?
Yeah. So like in the next 30 minutes or so, watch gold. If it holds this area and it stays in this range, it's gonna fly.
Why is it the folk here don't see this is all rigged? It's not rigged. Seriously, trading is not rigged. Trading is only rigged if you're not taking profits. I mean, if you keep taking profits, it's not rigged at all.
And the thing is, if it's rigged, why not take advantage of that if you know it's manipulated? Just play the game. Like if you know how everybody's cheating at a poker game, then just take their money. You know what they're doing. It's better that it's manipulated, because it's exactly what we saw at 8 o'clock. Everything pulled right back down, and we knew what happened. It pulled down, and it's like now we know what's going to happen in the next half hour. So like, why not take advantage of that? Like, I mean, I like free money. I phone a guy. Yeah, I phone a guy. We actually met a billionaire it's Friday night? We met a billionaire. He comes up to our table, and he knows a couple people that we know in Miami. And he starts questioning me, and then I knew a couple of his banking contacts, and he told me today, he's like, when you call them, make sure today you call them and ask for the dude and say the dude says hi. I'm like, you're the dude? He says, yeah, that's what I go by. That's my name. He's been trading FX for 30 plus years, so he's called the dude in the industry. It's funny. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk to my banking contact today and call and say the dude says hi from Miami.
It's the dude from Miami.
You should take the jet that he offered you.
Yeah. Well, he was supposed to pay for our dinner, but they wouldn't let him, because we paid for his dinner, and then he came by and he was getting so angry that he couldn't pay for our dinner, and our dinner was like $3,500. I'm like, man, you should have paid for our dinner. You're a billionaire. Like, I'm only a millionaire.
Yeah. And what a weird name for somebody like his billionaire. Just that dude.
Oh no, that's his that's what he calls himself. He's not actually named the dude. He actually has a proper name. He retired from FX, so he traded in New York for about 30 years. Now he's retired, but he knows everybody in the industry still. He was the one that had the white Rolls Royce in the front.
Oh, he was the owner of the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, the Rolls Royce in the front. Yeah.
Wow, look at gold. That move right there on gold.
Yeah. Every day, it's gonna pay us.
Yeah, man.
It'll probably push all the way further up, hopefully. We'll see what happens in the next 30 minutes or so.
So steaks were costly. 3,500 for the dinner. How many people were eating?
Like 12.
You think it was 12? I thought it was more than that.
Oh no, the dinner on Saturday was like 7,000. The dinner.
What? 7,000?
That was insane, bro. We had the fucking dinner of our lives.
That
Yeah.
that guy who's pinching the salt on the stick, that was 7,000?
Yeah, I know you guys in India and China do it cheaper. Don't worry. Like, I know that. What? It's not zero? There's no number lower than zero? What? Zero? What is zero?
Why isn't it minus? They should pay me for eating.
Yeah.
I mean,
Open a restaurant in Miami.
Yeah, but there was 25 of us. So, I mean, when you do the math, it's not that bad, right?
Yeah.
and like each steak is about $300.
Yeah, each steak
250,
250, 300, and then plus we had all the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm not worried about that. That's just like,
No, yeah, you had a good time, man.
oh yeah,
It was
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
The food was fresh, man. I'm not like. Food was fresh.
Yeah, it was. It was actually really good. The only problem is I find is when I come to like these places, it's like I don't want to bring over 10,000 because I don't want to have to declare it. So like I have to really budget myself, and then yeah. Well, yeah, because anything over 10,000 in the States, you have to declare, right? So
Yeah.
So what I end up doing is I end up bringing 9,000 or 9,500. So I mean, it's no big deal. It's just, man, it's just like we can do even more. So I gotta get a place in Miami or something like that, just so that I can afford cash like I do in the city here. Yeah, well, it's just to declare. Like you could bring it. It's just, but they put you on the watch list that now you're carrying large sums of money across the border.
Yeah, that's worldwide, man. That's law is cool.
Yeah. Like here in Toronto, when you guys come to Toronto, like I can blow 20,000 a night easy. Like that's easy. Like, I don't mind that. But in Miami, I mean, it's basically worked out to be the same. But
It sucks for you because you're traveling by yourself. If you were traveling like with someone else, you could
That's
just split it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could bring like 9,000 with someone else and 9,000 with another person. Yeah.
Never get stuck with someone's head, you know. I'll help.
We had many new friends.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Hopefully your next stop will be London, Ted.
Yes.
Yeah, people keep saying that, man, but that's hard. That's hard. That's more of a mental journey than anything else.
That's an 8-hour flight, man.
I know.
It's over the ocean too for 8 hours.
That's exactly it. Yeah, like,
over the fucking ocean, man.
Exactly.
They got runways at sea, man.
Yeah, aircraft carrier. Yeah.
If back in the days Concorde was flying, then
3 hours,
maybe,
3.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Ted didn't mind it that. Huh?
Oh yeah, I would have been great. I would have been like, yeah, no problem. 3 hours, I can get on that plane.
Nice. Also fun with that.
Yeah.
No one else is
Oh, you just
not calm. It's just that's too long to trust someone.
Okay, ciao guys. Have a good day. Bye. Love you.
Ciao, love you, bye.
Take care, brother.
Bye. Have a good one.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, Bella.
Man, Alex is not on the stream this morning.
No.
No, I think he's missing here in Miami.
Alex is probably Alex was the only guy who was super hyped all the time.
Super hype.
All the time.
And that's without the drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
I'm jealous of his hair, man.
Oh, dude, I didn't know Alex here was that long. guys, I could vote for 10 and rakeel. Them motherfuckers are huge. Okay.
Huge.
The picture does not do any justice. Don't believe it.
Kevon, are you like 5'4" or something like that?
Like 5'7" on a good day.
5'4" is Mac.
Yeah.
6'1".
6'2", I think. Yeah. I'm 6'2", and it's
Man, if you're 6'2", fucking Ted is 7 foot.
Ted is 6'4", right?
Yeah, 6'4".
Yeah.
No, Raja, because this Raja is just like he looks like a. He was the bouncer at the club. He was asking people for ID at one point.
I stood at the entrance. Guys are coming. All I said was ID. One person showed me his ID. I'm like, okay, perfect. Keep going.
That's because you have the guns on show.
So this may be a dumb question. You answered it before, but I see on a 15-minute candle doesn't have a bottom wick. Can we say that the next candle can have a wick because of it? I think on the 15-minute candles on gold, what we're doing is we're rejecting the bottom area that we just tapped into. So you might find that this 15-minute candle just finishes without any sort of wick to the top of the bottom, and then the next candle pushes up, and that creates the 30-minute candle to come back from the original push from the last 30-minute candle. With 8 o'clock happening and the New York Open, that 30-minute push down was more of just a pull to grab orders to push further up. And that's just an anomaly because of the fact that at 8 a.m. the New York market opens. That might not happen all the time when you see that sort of pattern. It's just happening at 8 o'clock because we had a push down to grab a bunch of orders. Like if you look at the hour with gold right now, we're coming right back into the range of the support that we had before we just broke. And that's why I'm saying that unless we drop down next hour, the next hour candle should fill and complete back up to 1522 to 1523. And I think you'll find in the next 10 minutes or so, this gold candle will probably flip bullish on the hour, and if it does, then we know the next hour will pull back down into the current range that we're in, and it'll fly further up. So you might have bullish moves for the rest of the morning, based on the way the structure is. Because think about it this way: the market just grabbed a whole bunch of orders down at like 1517, 1516. They got to go somewhere, right? So that's the thing that you keep in mind when you watch gold and the way it's moving right now. It just grabbed a whole bunch of orders. It's got to go. It's got to be sent somewhere. You got to send them somewhere.
Back in the 20s for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's definitely, well, I'd expect it to make at least a wick or some sort of hour. Now you can see the momentum coming back.
Oh yeah, our cats, 100%. It is rigged. I mean, but it's great because we figured that stuff out. So yeah, take advantage. But yeah, 100%. I do agree that markets manipulated 100%. But the thing is, I don't get mad when it wicks me out or stops me out. It's just more of the fact that I know what's happening. So you'll know. So if you can take advantage of that, and that's really the good thing with this stream is we know that it's rigged. So what we do is we tell you how to avoid sort of the rigged areas and how to take advantage of those areas. It's just what happens is people don't want to accept that the financial markets are imbalanced or unfair. So when they lose, they get mad when you should be like, hey, wait a second. If you guys are making it this manipulated and this rigged, how can I take advantage of that? That's the biggest thing that you look at.
EJ has broken the 118.084. It really looks bullish. On the 30 minutes, it's closed bullish.
Yep.
So there's a bearish pullback.
Yeah, there's always going to be a pullback every half hour because it needs to create a wick. right? And if you look, the daily candle now is pulling back up, and you can see on the 15-minute time frame, we pulled all the way back. So I mean, I would wait for it to close, and then if it continues up, you should see probably 18,350.
1850. Okay.
Yeah, it should fill that candle to the left on the 15-minute if this candle fills. And gold's doing exactly what we said it was going to do.
It's just how support and 4 minutes. Well, previous support. Yeah, but not take like that.
Ted doesn't analyze, he does witchcraft. Yes, I make a few phone calls and tell people, hey, I'm on a live stream. I need you guys to move the charts in this direction. Yeah. No, but I mean, I think, you know, the thing is, it's because you study one pair enough, you start to see these things, and because we're doing the same thing every day, it's like you can anticipate, okay, why are things happening? You just start to remember little things. That's all. And I think, you know, you have other people in here that are doing similar ideas, and then it's just sit back and just execute. I mean, and manage your risk. Like, I took a loss this morning, but now I've made all that back plus more. So I'm not too concerned, but it's just more, I was frustrated because I could have taken profit at 9 pips, and I didn't, because I wanted to hold it because I was expecting to go further up, and it stopped me out. So that was my greed taking over, where it's like I could have easily closed knowing at 8 a.m. we're going to have a pullback. But I was like, I'll be able to fight through the pullback. I think that was a good enough entry, and I didn't.
I had a valid entry, so it was a big read, wasn't it? But
yeah, I mean, we could have double dipped. I mean, if I had won the trade at before 8 o'clock, if I had closed that trade, I would have grabbed at like the 15-16 pullback right away. I would have bought again. But because I took a loss, I'm like, I got to be a little bit more conservative now and try and get a better entry, which I did.
For sure. Where did you get back into?
I got back in at 15, 17, 27. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm like 13 pips up. I think I want to see how the next hour moves. I mean, yeah, actually, good idea. I'll put my stop in the break even right now. Yeah, that's the only thing. I'll put it back to break even again. But I think this 15-minute candle should push right back up into the 15, 19, 80 range. Yeah. That's what I'm banking on. And then that'll be back into our support area that we were talking about before 8 o'clock, like pre-New York. Yeah. Or it could just rocket right through this right now, so we don't know. Well, ideally, I think we have the support right now back at like 15 or like 1800. I think now if we can break into 1520s, then that'll be the new support area. Like, it'll bounce around this higher area. I don't think we should have our entries, like, we shouldn't have any problems with our entry right now. I don't think it should return back to that level unless it rejects 1950 again very hard. If it does reject that, then we got issues. But if it, I think we should push through that. Yeah. But I mean, I'm like 18 pips in profit now. 16 pips now. Pissed off I took that long. It sucks because I mean, technically my entry, if we hadn't had that whip down, my entry would have still been in profit. Like, I would have been okay.
What's this? Is it safe to say that we now have a 4-hour range if this closes bearish in 15 minutes? Yes. So this will be your range, so you are correct. So now when you look on the smaller time frames, you see that the 30-minute created a resistance area in the Asian session, and then it created support after London Open before pre-New York, and now the 30-minute kind of broke down, but now it's closing back above 1518. And then once it starts to go up, you'll have resistance at 1520. Oh wow, look at that push.
Let's go 24.
Ted or Raja, if you look left, there's in 4 hour, you're gonna see a wick on gold. I know it's like $4 from the prices right now.
Yeah, 15.
That's the target. Yeah.
It's gonna be held like.
Yeah, that's the target. Yeah, if we have this momentum on the, we have a bullish momentum. That's definitely the target. I'm looking at that as well. That's the easy target. It'll fill that whole wick all the way up to like, I think it's like 15,
27 something.
Yeah, that's right. 100%. I agree with that. 1527. Yeah, it should fill up because that's a huge zone that we're going to enter right at around 1527. If it does rocket up, that would be a good take profit point.
Oh yeah, I'll take 15.
Nice.
But yeah, we're breaking up right now with the 1519. So that's what I said. So as long as we continue up to like 15, like if we can break 1550, yeah, we should be good. I mean, if anyone's in the trade right now, you could probably take, close the position and be happy. But you might find that we get to 1521. I think 1521 is a pretty reasonable target for this one. Yeah, so like we're in a really good spot. So if you want to take profit right now, I would suggest taking profit, or move your stop a little bit higher so that you can secure more profit, because we're pretty deep right now in this trade.
Just got this in. Ooh, some people took GPCAD sells. Beautiful. I think UCAD is also dropped. Broke resistance, wait for retest to head towards this, take profit. Very nice.
I just don't want it to rip right back down. Just break up. Just push up. You'll be okay. I secured 10 pips, so I'm alright. But it just. Yeah, it's a 15, 19, 50 area back into the range that we have issues with. If it holds here, that's good for next hour. That's what I'm hoping.
Ted, do you have runners right now?
This is my only one runner. I'm 22 pips deep.
Oh, okay, so you're good.
Yeah, but I might break even at 10 pips. I was hoping that we'd get to 1520, and that would allow us to bounce around in this range. I don't want us to break down into 1518 again. I really want us to hold 1519, just because that's a little bit more safer. Because what it'll do, the idea behind that is if we can get to 1520, when it pulls back, it'll pull back into 1519, and it'll hold that support after it. So it's like that's the step up that we're looking for. Right? It's just, I don't want to pull back down now and then have it step again because it could hit my stop.
See, that's the thing that I notice with gold sometimes. It like when it reaches like this double top is what I'm looking at, right? And I'm just like, okay, there is a good chance that we could, and I don't like to jinx it or say whatever, but like I'm looking at it as we're speaking right now, and it's trying to whip right back down, and it's just like it's exactly what you're saying in terms of going back to 1518, which is like a headache in itself, really.
Well, that's what it is, right? So like this is where your mental game has to be here. You have to make the conscious decision. Like I told everybody at 1519.50, close your position if you don't want to hold. Now that if you're still holding your position, you now have to accept the outcome. Like I've already accepted the fact that if we go back down to 1518, I'm getting stopped, and that's it for the day for me. So I've accepted that outcome because my upside, I'm looking for 1521, 1522, and extending this trade. If I get it, great. If I don't, I'm okay. But for somebody who's trading
just to make sure that they have a profitable trade, like 1950, that was probably your exit because it hit that resistance level again, and that's fine. Like you get a good piece from it.
Well, I guess the only saving grace is that it closes bullish.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? You want it to close bullish, and then you hope that it gets a push up.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just I don't want people to hold trades longer to be heroes. I want people to profit, because when I was starting off trading, I was never holding trades. I was like, if this was like 3 or 4 years ago, I would have already closed and been like, hey, I got 20 pips or I got 25 pips, I'm done, right? But here I'm saying, hey, I can probably get 40 or 50 because I don't care too much about, you know, the outcome of the trade, because I'm already at, you know, my stop loss is already up.
That's what always partially takes something on the way. Just, I know I'm ranking something. Maybe just so when it breaks out, goes further, then brilliant.
We got about like 6 minutes on the 15 minutes, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping on, is if we push up in the next like 5 minutes or so to 15, 20, we'll be good. But it's struggling, even on the hourly. I'm watching it right now on the hourly. It's all those top, we're hitting in that top part of the zone. This is actually going to turn out pretty good if it holds at this level. I'd like to go a little higher, but I think we have a good opportunity.
I think if you're trying to trade EJ, the thing is you'll have to now wait for price to create some sort of a support here for it to continue moving up. Because essentially it created a high over here. It just needs to create a support and then go up to retest that high. So now I just gotta wait. Hello, just found you, Mark Burton. Any ideas for GU? Have a cracking trading day. Cracking trading day. Mark Burton, I think you should watch the read the description, their rules, the video there. So you need to watch that first so that you can have a seemingly streamlined experience on the stream. Yeah, that's what it's about. Seemingly streamlined experience. Yeah.
Oh, it's looking nice on 30 minutes.
Yes.
If this 30-minute candle closed bullish, we're good.
Yes. That move down was fake out.
Yeah.
For 100% full margin trade, you'll have to wait for it to break resistance and go boom, 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 boom. 1521, above 1521. I think people who caught GP CAD here are pretty happy right now.
Yeah, that's a good move.
It's a beautiful move.
Yep.
Very beautiful.
How much is it falling? Oh yeah, it should be deep in profits now.
How many pips?
This felt like 25 below support now.
25 pips.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a listener here, Pure Mathematics. That's his username on YouTube. He sent the analysis for GP CAD selling after this candle closed bearish. He's like, oh, we're gonna go down.
I think it was a 47 pip gap.
Yeah. He only took one trade today.
just ready now for a deal. Just looked at the Zoom screen of gold and there's them two candles on there. Got really excited.
Yeah, that's gonna be the boom boom, boom boom candles.
I didn't look properly and I thought it moved that far. I was like, on the way. Missed it.
That's gonna be your 9 a.m. push.
Dude,
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping right now. We might get that 9 a.m. push.
It's holding nice there.
Oh, now we're in really good shape. Oh, geez.
Oh yeah, I'm deep. So we're good.
Yep.
Now, so I think,
This 30-minute candle is looking beautiful.
so really that money.
Yeah.
We're
15, 19, 60 now. I think we should, if we can break 1520, that'd be nice. If it could spike up into 1520 in the last minute or so, but I don't think it will, that would have been good. Because now it's pulled over back here.
You've got 18 and a half support.
Yeah. I think we're good at that point.
Yeah.
Because now, hopefully this candle, what we see on the next 30-minute candle is fill this wick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then that'll be the push through this consolidation area. And it just pulled back like 7 pips in 1 minute.
Gold all over. Probably pissed to be here.
Yeah, I know, so are I. I'm watching it very closely.
I'm in for the long haul on this one. I'm already back into profit today, so I'm alright.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Stop there.
I got stopped out again. Alright, well, that's it for me today. Oh, I got clipped again, so. Oh well.
Well, still, you made a bit on the way back up.
Oh yeah, I made 9, almost 10 pips on the way up.
No, I guarantee you that it's probably going to go back up because it's friggin' this.
Oh, 100%. It's just I had my stop loss so I can actually secure profit, and I was up 20. I was up 23 pips at one point in the day.
Yeah. I think we're all in that same boat.
About 3 minutes ago, I was up 23 pips. I mean, that was a good trade. Now it's just, oh well.
That's just sat there for the end. Bit of experience.
I keep forgetting it's only Monday, so I'm okay.
Yeah, it's a Monday actually. You know, now when you look at gold, now you realize that, okay, maybe you know what, gold did what it had to do for the morning.
Yep.
Like if you sit and wait, now for more gold is just gonna get harder and harder.
Yep.
Just like people who are stuck in GJ, you're stuck, it's range. At one point thought it's gonna break out to the upside, and now people are thinking, oh, it's gonna break to the downside, but you have to wait for the break.
Yeah, it's constantly daily. I think the move was from London.
Yes. Oh man, I woke up, last time I saw GJ price was at like 134 something. I woke up, I saw 133. I was like, what? 133?
Yeah, so do I.
There's that 15-minute test on the new hourly candle for gold, and gold will rocket all the way back up.
Wow, man.
Bye, gold. Bye, gold.
At first I was
Thanks
like, what
for
the?
stopping me out again. Thanks for stopping me out again.
Oh, that's the
fuckery.
Yeah, that bullshit.
What a
That
fuckery,
bullshit.
man.
Fucking crap. It's exactly what the hell we just talked about. Yeah, it's a little pullback. Oh yeah.
15, 21, 30.
Welcome to the candy shop.
15, 21, 30.
Let's
Oh,
go.
nothing.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully no one had stop losses like me.
All passengers traveling to 1527. Yourself. Yeah, I was expecting that move. I knew
That is so fucking crazy. Sorry. Shit.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck, man.
I think we've talked about this for the last 2 hours.
It's just about
Dude,
timing,
literally.
you know. We have seen
know.
it many
Look.
times.
Look at this 5 minute
My
count.
stop
Forex is
loss-
rigged.
Exactly.
Forex is rigged. It's all that dude's fault. The dude did this. It was him.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
We expected
the board, man.
I mean, we were expecting this move around 8 a.m., but it happens at 9 a.m., so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's Monday.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
I wish my stop loss had just been a little bit lower.
Yo, Ted, I was just thinking the same thing too. Shit.
Because
But you managed.
if I kept it in and just break even, I would have caught that whole move to 15, 20 or whatever, 22. But it's all good.
Yeah, that's the thing, because you have big position, you're not going to give away
No.
any money, you know? It's good.
I was like, oh man. Well, that's the trade of the day.
Well, we called it all morning, so we're all right.
Yeah.
Then pullbacks were decent.
Yeah, they were actually. The pullbacks were really, really interesting. I mean, because I expected that candle to fill, and I knew it was going to fill at 9 o'clock, but I thought it would fill first and then pull back. That's what I was thinking. I didn't expect the pullback first, then the fill. Because normally what it'll do at 9, it'll just push all the way up, and then it'll fill, and then it'll pull back to like about 9:15, 9:20, and then it'll start again for the New York Open. Like right now, you're going to be stuck in this range again until like the NYSE Open in the half hour. So if you turned around and grabbed that gold trade and you grabbed it, I mean, this is where you close again because it's going to bounce around that area.
I have my runner at break even, so let's see.
Yeah,
I'm going to wait like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, somebody went against my normal plan because it was stopped out. It was in profit, but I jumped back on just as it kind of did. I was going to move it, but I didn't really want to because I was kind of happy where I was. But I knew that jump was coming. So I managed to get back to 18.2. Which is pretty good, but so annoying. You're in good position before.
Oh, look at that. Now it's starting to go up again.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a buy stop, your buy stop would get triggered here pretty soon.
Okay.
Monday. Well, I'm done for the day. I got one trade and that's it.
I mean, I hate to say it, if I hadn't traded with a stop loss today, at any point I would have made more money.
Now the damage is done, so gold, I don't think gold is going to retrace all the way back down.
Well, it's funny because if I say don't trade with a stop loss, people think I'm crazy, but you can sort of see we had the idea all morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
The thing is, this analysis is spot on. We know exactly what's happening. It's just then pullbacks were too deep, but they're deep.
I always wondered if, like, you know, since the announcement, yeah, like you said, the announcement is spot on. It's just like anticipating how much it's going to pull back, but I think that's near impossible to do sometimes. I always wondered if there's a way that you can even figure that out.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know what to say about it, but you can kind of do that average size of the candle, depending on what time frame you play with. And work
Yeah, like a 50% pullback, or you know what I mean?
Kind of, and you can work out the same, I don't know, for 9 a.m. every day for the last 6 months of pullback, like 8 bits, I don't know, something. Get an average, give you an idea, but for me, they're a bit deep.
What I was doing was how I started to do this maybe 2 years ago because I thought I would crack the code officially, but it was more of I was trying to peg the pullbacks in relation to the overall average move on the daily. So if you know that gold's going to move on average, say like $5, right? You know that those pullbacks are going to be a percentage of those $5 moves, and then it's like, okay, what would be the average percentage of that pullback in a given time frame? And then using that formula to say, okay, at 8 a.m. gold is going to pull back $1.50, which would be 15 pips or 20 pips, and that's because the overall move for the daily right now has been, you know, $10 or $12, right? So I was trying to do that to see if there's some sort of mathematical correlation that institutions were trying to peg themselves to say, hey, I can only pull back the market X amount of percent, because that's essentially what they're doing. Is they're driving the market in one direction, but they can only do it for so long until they have to give it up.
Yeah, that goes through.
Okay, so all right, so I guess that kind of begs the question. Since they only do it for so long, do they? How do I put this? Okay, so say for instance, like you said, like $5, right? Maybe I'd say $5 for maybe like a couple, let's say a month or so, right? And then they would have to maybe scale it back, maybe let's say $2 or something. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here.
Kind of.
Yeah, the problem is, so with that idea, I agree with you, and it's because as price continues to move up, so say for example, like Iron Man was talking about this, is like, say for example, we're going to 1550, right? And we had a pullback all the way down to like 1490, 1488. So that level was probably the premium price level for most institutions. So to your point, the pullbacks are going to be longer and wider because more institutions are seeing. So if you think of a lineup of 10 institutions, the first institution gets the best entry because they're the smartest. Mm-hmm. The second institution doesn't get a good entry, but they're in still a good position. As we start to move, it's almost like the bigger institutions are like, hey, I already see that these, like they don't see, but hypothetically they look at price and they're like, hey, they've already gotten in at this. Some people have gotten this. How much can I push the market to maybe get half of that entry? So if someone got in at 1490, maybe I can get in at 1495. So I'll drive the market down $5 or $6. I think the challenge is if the market gets driven down too much, get in at 1490. The other algorithms start running and they'll take those positions and keep driving it further because it'll trigger their risk, right? Because say for example, the percentage of risk that an institution has, and they're like, oh, okay, now we're going down. Okay, I'll go flips because based on the amount of volume going into that price. And that's where we get a flash crash, right? So you saw what happened with the JPY flash crash is one algorithm was like, hey, we're selling, and all the rest of them just turned on and just drove price, right? They're like, oh man, panic time, right? We got to protect our positions. So it's almost the same thing every day, but not to that same degree, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so almost like a domino effect, but only to a certain percentage.
Right, exactly. And as we get higher up, the percentage of pullback decreases. So to your point, now the pullback is only $2 instead of $5. Because it's like less institutions need to get a position, so there's less people pushing the market the opposite way to get a better idea.
Gotcha. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why we say watch out to trade Mondays and Fridays, because that's when institutions are entering and leaving the market, and that's where we'll have all this weird crap happen, right?
I think you should try to continue that whole theory again, because I think there's something to what you're saying, Ted, because it does make sense. Like you said, that you were trying to do it 2 years ago. Oh, go pull back, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that just because everything's based on mathematical formulas, right? Like every institution is working with a risk parameter and a hedging parameter. The issue is we don't have those variables. And the other issue is because Forex is decentralized, we can't go into like a data center and say, hey, what happened yesterday? Where if you turned around and you look at the NYSE, you could see all the volume for that particular share. So you could look at yesterday's volume of like, say, Tesla and be like, this is the exact number of shares that were traded that day because it only trades on the NYSE.
Okay.
right? That's the thing that we, as traders in the FX world, that's what we struggle against, because you have obviously the New York market, you have the London market, the German market, you have all these markets and they're all decentralized. So there's chaos happening every day. We don't know who's doing what. All we see is basically an average.
Lack of data is, yeah.
Right. That's the biggest problem. But that's why it's also so lucrative, because of the lack of data. So you can't turn around, because I know what people say. It'd be like, well, it'd be great if they centralized Forex. No, it wouldn't, because there would be even more manipulation, because everybody would see what everybody was doing and nobody would have to make an educated guess. Everybody would just be like, oh, okay, JP Morgan's doing that? Perfect, I'm doing that too.
Yeah, you'd work off figures.
Yeah.
And
Because
the moves wouldn't be that great either.
yeah,
They'd probably be minuscule for sure.
for equity, it's called float. Like you could view the float in company in certain stocks. So if they have a low float, it's likely that it's gonna squeeze. The higher the float, the harder to squeeze.
Yeah. Yeah, but like Ted said, I don't think the move would be drastic enough. It would be pretty smooth.
Yeah.
A big news thing or something. But I like it this way, man. It's more fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a double-edged sword in according to what Ted was saying. But like, I mean, it's the risk is what kind of, or the risk and the volatility is what make it so lucrative. I mean, gold is a perfect example of that.
We're trying to work that out. It's pretty. It's a good way forward.
I'm probably gonna rewatch Extreme again. What time is it? 9:14. Okay.
Well, the issue is, it's like, think about Forex, and I'm going to use my poker analogy again so everyone can get mad at me. But think about it this way: if you play with people on your kitchen table at home, right? You're not really implementing a strategy, because you're playing with your friends, you're playing with your family. There's not a level of competitiveness there to say, hey, like, someone's going to win $5, someone's going to lose $5. It's the same thing with live poker. Like, if you look back in 2005 and 2006, live poker was so easy. It was just ridiculously easy. Even when online poker started in 2006 and 2007, people were just making buckets, hand over fist, because there wasn't really a strategy. There wasn't really any sort of cohesiveness in terms of what people were doing. People were just playing regularly. But with the centralization of the game globally, people started to try and solve the game. They started to recognize that certain players from certain countries were bad. Like, we used to think that Russians were fish. Like, because they had so much money, every time we saw a Russian at the table, we would like, oh, game on. Like, this guy's gonna dump. Or people from the UK or people from Europe, they were just absolutely horrible at the game, and they were just dumping money, and you would just pray that you had somebody from the UK on your table. But what happened was, because the game becomes centralized, and this is what I'm going back to with Forex, because the game became centralized and there were more people playing, but there was only, like, say, Poker Stars, Full Tilt, and like Party Poker, there were 3 major sites. So if you thought about that, those are your 3 major exchanges. You started to recognize the good players versus the bad players. And then you would have these like one-offs where there's a guy that pops in and dumps money. But the game started to get considerably harder because there was centralized locations where the biggest amount of money was. So when you look at Forex, if you start centralizing the market, all the big players start to see everybody, and they can start taking advantage of it. Because, like, from a retail side, we're not good traders. Like, we're good, we think we're good, but we're not as good as, say, institutions. Now, if you have to play against all the institutions and they know exactly what you're doing all the time, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to make money. So in this case, because everything's decentralized, we still have a good advantage, because it's like they sort of know where retail money is, but people like us who can be the anomalies, 90% of people, like they say, are losing in Forex, we can still be the anomalies. There's 1,000 people on here, we can be the 10%. Obviously I don't think that there's only 100,000 people trading or 10,000 people trading Forex, but it's just, the idea is there's pockets of smart money that are in the retail sector, right? I would say like these groups that we have, probably a few other groups. So there are people making money. It's just, if it was centralized, I think these pockets would be smaller and it'd be a lot more difficult to be successful.
When you plan against the institutions, you plan both against them, the biggest part of the pot.
Well, that's exactly it. It would be like if you go on the Poker Stars right now and you see the top mix games, right? It's like, you're playing 400, 800 mix. you're no longer playing no limit or just pot limit Omaha. You're playing like Raz, you're playing Stud, you're playing all these other games, because now it's like, how do I find an edge? I have to be better at like 9 different games now, so that I can beat people at 4 or 5 different games, instead of just trying to win at one game, because that one game has already been solved. Like, if you play no limit Hold'em online and like Poker Stars, you're done. You're not going to win. I 100% guarantee it, unless you're going to put hours upon hours to try and beat the game. And then even then, you're not even going to beat the game for that much on an hourly level. So it's because they solved it. It's been official. It's no limit Hold'em's been solved. They've played every single permutation of every single hand the most optimal way that they could play it. You give me a hand, you give me a situation, it's been solved somewhere.
Yeah, that's interesting. It makes sense.
Ted, do you still think that gold is going to spike up now that it break and retest the 1521 area?
I think it's hard, because I think just because it's on a Monday, I think we may get that push up further. But for like what Raja was saying, it was like, it's going to be very difficult for this move to happen. I mean, if you're already in the trade, great. But I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think we'll have more of a move then.
Hey Ted, thanks for breaking down everything. Almost every minute, every candle, everything. We learned a lot.
No, but it's just because we've seen it happen so many times. I mean, that's what I tell people is your chart experience will always help you. And the thing is, even if you do simulations, it's going to help you. But a lot of times people speed up simulations. They just pass through certain days and stuff like that. Coming to the charts every day, it forces you to pay attention.
Especially at the same time. I think it's massively important. Well, for me anyway. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with simulations too. When I use them, it's just like, oh, this profit, cool. But when you actually do it in real time, it's just, okay, like you said, it does really force you to pay attention, because that simple move, whether that goes against, will like mess with your psyche, and then just like today, big gold retracing, and then hey, just pull back up is a perfect example of that. On a simulation, you probably wouldn't even notice that. So yeah, it's
now it's just you're live, and you've got to sit and wait. You actually got to do this. What our class is trying, you have to sit there.
Well, that's exactly it. It's like people were trying to sell gold, and I'm sitting there laughing, right? And it's like, it sounds bad, and I talked about this in Raja's class, is I mute myself a lot of times here, and I laugh at people when they try and do stuff like that, because it's they're not understanding what the overall bias is, and they're impatient, and they don't realize that, hey, why is this happening? And until you understand the why, BBC is like, like Chris was basically taking buys, and both of us were hunting buys, and people are like, oh, I'm taking sells, and it's like, I'm hunting buys, like I want buys for this. I don't believe that this drop is correct. I believe that this is not correct at all. And it was, what is my reasoning? It's like, we know this because 8 a.m. there's a pullback because New York Open. We've seen this happen before. What's the usual pullback? 10, 15 pips. It dropped 22 pips today. I mean, so it's just one of those things, right?
Anomaly, but
yeah.
What you're doing is spot on. It's exactly one candle, one candle.
Yeah, so kind of going back to what I said about the simulation, what I've done now, as opposed to just saying, okay, well, let's just speed through the candlesticks, what I would do is I would mark, okay, how long did this take to move, right? or these series of candlesticks, so that it's almost like I have an idea of exactly how long it would take for maybe that move to push or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I kind of do, because it's easy just to click forward and not take into account the actual movements, whether it was live or not, you know?
Yeah, the thing is, people don't know how to study effectively, and that's what I always tell people is just clicking buys and sells is good when you first start out, so you get a feel for what the market does. But there should be a time where you actually go back through like your charts and actually map out your specific session that you're trading and really dive into every hour of that session and start to learn each hour. Like basically you start with your daily candle for, and then you start with, the 4 hour, and then you go your hourly, then you go your 30 minute, your 15 minute, and you can get to the point where if you study off the 5 minute candle, at that point, you'll have the ability to basically be like, hey, I understand exactly what's going on in this market at this point, or this pair. But people don't want to take the time to do that because they're so enthralled in trying to make money. It's like, that's going to make you more money in the long run. It's like knowing that, Raja put out 15, 20, 50 as like the resistance levels. It's like people are trying to take buys there, and it's like, no, there's no buys there. There's nothing there. There's close out your trade and wait, or move your stop to break even, but there's no buys or sells right now. But people are trying to do that because they're not experienced enough to understand that why is the market pulling back, or why is the market doing what it's doing. They don't have enough information, and it's because they haven't studied enough. And it's just all they're trying to do is take a look at the market and say, hey, I see that there's a rejection at this level, it's time to sell. Or I see a rejection at this level, it's time to buy. It's like, there's a lot more to it, and you have to be able to put all that together.
Yeah, another thing is like, if your buy stop got triggered, your exit was that if a candle closed back below resistance, right? If you look at the 15-minute closed back below resistance, so logic just says that, hey, if candle can't break resistance, and if your buy stop has been triggered, then most likely it's not going to go up. So you got to keep those, things in mind when candle, like if this would have closed above resistance, then yeah, oh yeah, for sure, we're going up, but closed below resistance. Oh, take care, Juan. Yeah, I'm gonna take off too. I'm gonna head to the gym here pretty soon. Take care, everybody. Have fun.
Take care, Raja.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Good day, everyone.
All right.